let's talk about something that can drive any backyard bird lover crazy. You love seeing all those beautiful birds at your feeder, right? It's just magic. But then, that magic feeling disappears when you realize you've invited a, let's say, less welcome guest. Yup, we're talking about rats. This is your guide to taking back your bird feeder step by step. And I'm sure this quote from Vince hits close to home for some of you. You're just trying to enjoy a nice, quiet moment, and then you see it. It really is a total mood killer. But look, that moment of frustration, that's actually the perfect starting point. It's what gets you motivated to create a smarter feeding station, one for the birds you love and only for the birds you love. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get to know our unwanted guest. Then, we'll dive into the menu and figure out how to make it way less appealing to them. After that, it's all about building a fortress. We'll also cover keeping things clean. And finally, how to master the long game so they stay away for good. So why do rats crash the party in the first place? Honestly, it's pretty simple. They're incredible opportunists. That bird feeder you put out? To a rat, that's not just a little snack bar. No, that's a 5-star all-you-can-eat buffet. A little seat on the ground, an easy pole to climb, and boom, your yard becomes their favorite restaurant. Okay, here's the core strategy, and it's a really important mindset shift. The goal isn't to get rid of every rat in the neighborhood. That's just not realistic. The real strategy is to make your feeder incredibly inconvenient for them. We want to create a setup that's basically a paradise for birds, but a real pain in the neck for any rodents. All right, let's get to our first and, I'd argue, our most powerful tactic. The menu. Seriously, before you go out and buy any fancy new gear, the single biggest change you can make is the seed you're putting out. Because, you see, in the eyes of a rat, not all bird seed is created equal. And you can see it laid out right here. On the left, you've got the stuff that's way less appealing to rats. But on the right, that's basically a giant neon sign that says free food. Things like sunflower seeds, millet, and cracked corn are just too easy and delicious for them. We want to stick to the menu on the left. So let's break down these safer choices. Niger seed is fantastic. It's so tiny and hard that it's just not worth the effort for rats. But you know who loves it? Finches. They go nuts for it. Safflower is another winner because it has a bitter taste that rodents really don't like, while birds like cardinals find it delicious. And you can still use suet. You just have to serve it in a cage-style feeder that big critters can't get into. Okay, the menu is sorted. Now it's time to fortify the restaurant itself. This is where we look at the actual physical setup, from the feeder itself to exactly how and where you place it in your yard. So, when you're looking for a new feeder, you want to keep an eye out for these 3 things. First, a weight-sensitive perch is a game changer. It just shuts the food port when something heavy, like a rat or a squirrel, lands on it. Second, a cage design physically blocks them out. And third, you need durable materials, like stainless steel, because trust me, a determined rat can chew right through plastic. Now, for a critical rule of placement, I call it the 10-foot rule, and it's non-negotiable. Your feeder needs to be at least 10 feet away from anything a rat could possibly climb on. That means trees, fences, your house, anything. Rats are amazing climbers, but they hate crossing open ground. Make them do it. It's not just about the distance away from things, though. The vertical challenge is just as important. You want to mount your feeder about 5 to 6 feet high, and it has to be on a smooth metal pole. A wooden pole? That's just a ladder to a rat. But a slick metal pole is much, much harder for them to get a grip on. The more work you make them do, the more likely they are to just give up. And to really complete your fortress, you need to add a physical barrier. A dome-shaped baffle, like the one you see here, is an almost impossible obstacle for anything trying to climb up that pole. It's a really simple addition, but it is incredibly effective. All right, so you've got the right food and the right hardware. Awesome! But even the strongest fortress can be undermined by one simple thing: a messy floor. All that spilled seed on the ground is basically a welcome mat for rats, which is why your cleaning habits are your secret weapon. Here's a simple routine, and you gotta stick to it. First, sweep up any spilled seed on the ground a couple of times a week. Don't let it build up. Second, get rid of any wet or moldy seed in the feeder itself immediately. And third, this is a big one, only put out enough food for a day or 2 at a time. An overflowing feeder is just a constant temptation. Finally, let's talk about the long game. Because rat-proofing isn't a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. It's all about staying vigilant, knowing what to look for, and having a clear plan of action if you see any signs that they might be coming back. You need to become a bit of a backyard detective. First, always store your bird seed in a chew-proof metal container, not a plastic bag. Second, get in the habit of looking for the signs, droppings, chew marks, maybe even burrows. And here's a really effective tactic. Only feed the birds during the day. Rats are most active at night, so if the food source disappears after sunset, it makes your yard way less interesting. Now, if you do spot a rat, don't panic. It's time to hit the reset button. On day 1, take down all of your feeders, cold turkey. For the first week, focus on deep cleaning the area and adding any new defenses you need. Then, in week 2, you can slowly reintroduce only your most secure rat-proof feeders filled with that safe rat-resistant seed. This whole process breaks the cycle and sends a very clear message that the buffet is officially closed. And really, this is what it's all about. The goal isn't to create some sterile, lifeless yard. It's about strategically making your yard a really unattractive and difficult place for rodents to be. And by doing that, you actually make it an even more welcoming, safe, and irresistible haven for all the beautiful birds you wanted to attract in the first place. By following these steps, from the seed you use, to the setup of your feeder, to your daily schedule, you can absolutely solve this problem for good. You can get back to just enjoying that backyard magic, totally guilt-free. The power is completely in your hands. So, are you ready to take back your backyard?